Ransack. I work here at the Flathead Lake Biological Station. Welcome to all of you to the Biological Station, especially if it's your first time here. This Biological Station is part of the University of Montana. We were founded in 1899. We're the second oldest biological station in the nation. It bothers us that we're second. Ohio State University's Stone Lab was founded in 1897. They beat us by 2 years. But you know what? We get to work in Flathead Lake and they have to work in Lake Erie. So I think we come out ahead in that game. Sorry, Maria.
It took 2 years to realize, oh wait, this is much better.
Yep. We are a world-renowned freshwater research facility. We've worked on almost every continent. Our flagship programs are here in the Flathead watershed. Our long-term monitoring in Flathead Lake, the database goes back to 1977. It's one of the best large lake databases in the world. I'm a river ecologist. The other thing we specialize in is river ecology. We've been working on the Middle Fork Flathead River, the western boundary of Glacier National Park since the 1980s. And we work all over Montana, all over every place you can think of. But our work here is scalable and transferable to other ecosystems that we work in. There is some information about Flathead Lake and the biostation and some of our scientific stories on the table back in that corner over there. But I'm a scientist. How do I get involved with art, right? Well, scientists historically were connected to art because scientists had to draw and document what they saw. Before we all had cameras in our pockets on our phones, scientists are these wonderful observers of the natural world. Our founder, Morton Elrod, who came to Missoula in 1897 as the first professor of biology, he invited scientists and scientific illustrators from all around the nation here in the early 1900s. And they were discovering organisms that were new to science. They weren't new to the people that lived around here, but they were new to Western science. And so some of the really famous scientific illustrators of that era came here. And our biological station, we taught classes since 1899. Through the 1960s, scientific illustration was one of the offerings that we had here. And Kelsie, one of our artists in residence, she has set up her exhibit over in our museum. And when you're over there, the back right corner has a lot of old illustrations by scientists. And I find it pretty interesting that traditionally scientists had to have the ability to draw what they were seeing. Good for me, because I can't do that. In our modern era, so we're a world-renowned freshwater research facility, and until about a decade ago, that's the audience that we really catered to. But about a decade ago, we tried to expand our offerings. I feel pretty strongly that a field station experience, an immersive experience, is really valuable, and we wanted people more than just high-level water scientists to have that experience here. So since then, we've started an interdisciplinary internship program. We have this cooperation with art now. And there's actually an international organization of biological field stations that our field station is involved with. We're one of the founding members from the 1960s. And I would go to these annual meetings and go to these presentations about art and science, or art-sci convergence. And all these other field stations have been running, not all of them, but a number of other field stations have been running artist in residence programs for a decade or two, or maybe just a year. And I was thinking, boy, you know, wouldn't it be great to bring artists here to interact with our scientists, and we all look at the world through different lenses and we can learn from each other. And so from going to this professional meeting, I had this seed planted. I think we should do that at the Flathead Biological Station. And I was down at UM's main campus talking to a colleague involved with the art program, and she said, I know someone that you need to meet. And it was Stoney Samso over here, who at that time, when this field station was thinking we should do an artist in residency program, Stoney was creating the open air program, which places artists in residencies around Western Montana. And Stoney and I had our first conversation, really hit it off, thought that what we were both trying to do really meshed well, and I think it's turned out that way. But for us, open air is a godsend because you are connected with the art community. You know how to recruit artists. You know how to evaluate artist applicants. I'm just a scientist. I just see pictures and colors and stuff. So I feel like Stoney and her team have really brought a strong component to make this a successful program. And then our team has really enjoyed meeting the artists, taking them out on field expeditions, talking about the science that we do here, which is quite varied even though it's mainly freshwater. But we have a chemistry lab, we have a K-12 education program, we have a natural resource economist on our team. So we have a real variety of things that are going on here in the program. And so I had to look it up because life is just a blur, but we hosted our first artist in residence here in 2019 and started doing plein air sessions in 2020. Our current cohort of artists get us up to 20 artists that have come and had a residency here. So we're double digits, we're out of the teens even. And it's been fun. We have some of the artist in residence artwork in that back corner from past residencies. And then last summer with Open Air and the Big Fork Art and Cultural Center in Big Fork, we actually had an exhibit of field station art. Some of our historic stuff was shown, plein air art from the number of plein air sessions that have been here, and then from the artists who have been here in residence. So that was a fun collaboration for us to be involved with. So we could tell more of our story to the artistic community in the Flathead, and the artists that are interested can learn more about the science, and most importantly, learn more about this wonderful lake and the wonderful watershed that we live in around here. So again, welcome. Just want to make sure that you have what you need. I'll be here for most of the morning. If bathrooms are down the hall, to the right or left, water fountains over there, and I'll turn it over to Stony or Kelly to say a little bit, and then we'll get into the art programming.
Thanks, Tom.
Hi everybody, good morning. My name is Kelsie Leonard and I'm the program coordinator for Open Air. And just want to make sure y'all know there are snacks and beverages, so at any time during anything throughout the day, please help yourself to the snacks. I also just want to make sure everybody, this is Stony Samso, she is the director of Open Air, and you'll be hearing from her later on today, so you'll get a chance to hear Stony speak as well. I also just want to let everybody know that we do have programs for you all, and on the back of them has everybody's bios. So you're going to get to hear from a lot of really great speakers today, so that's where you'll find their names and more information about them. So just a little bit. So Open Air is a place-based artist in residency program, and it connects artists from all disciplines to all disciplines and origins with culturally, historically, and ecologically significant locations throughout collaborative partnerships. And so as Tom mentioned, one of our collaborative partnerships is the Flathead Lake Biological Station, and I just want to give them a special thank you for having us here today. We're so excited to be here, so thank you for having us. And I also just want to ask you all a question. So how many of you have been to Flathead Lake before? Yeah. How many of you have been to the biostation before? Great, that's wonderful. So tell me, what do you think are some of the things that are special about this place?
The quality of the watershed.
Watershed, absolutely. What else?
The quality of the scientists.
A high quality scientist. What else?
The wildlife it supports.
Wildlife.
Pretty hard to find 80 acres of undeveloped property on Flathead Lake.
Yeah. I'm always amazed how you're not even that far from the road, but you feel like you're absolutely in another world. Yeah.
I would piggyback off of the quality of the watershed and go one step further to say it's like, as a result, it's leadership in the community for ecological stewardship and awareness raising around the importance of healthy watershed ecosystems.
Yeah. Anybody else have one off the top of their head?
The fact that you welcome artists and connect with them, it's pretty special.
Yeah, that open doors, that welcoming community.
Yeah.
Somebody else was going to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say also having access to tribal wisdom, being on the reservation, and they're combining their stewardship with theirs. And it's also an opportunity that's unique to this area.
Absolutely. So, all of these things and other reasons, right, are the thing that makes this place special, right? And so everything that we're going to talk about today is related to this as a place. So So kind of keep all that in mind. And so for the past 3 weeks, these 4 artists have had the amazing opportunity to get to just live here on site. And so they've had firsthand experience to like really get to know this place and see how it affects their artwork. And basically when I say place-based art making, that means that the fundamental starting point for a creative endeavor is place, right? And it just acknowledges that there's inherent meaning in place. And so, just being here today, there's meaning in this place. And just, relating that a little bit to like arts in like a bigger context, artists for a long time, like place is a really common theme that artists like to work with. Like if you buy books about art, there's usually a place chapter. And so, and I think the reason why place is so important is if you're going to make artwork about place, it requires you to be very present, right? It requires you to slow down, you have to observe, you have to be open to what's around you. You can't just sort of like rush past it. And so this opportunity for the artist to come live here and immerse and become part of the community and feel so welcomed, it's like the perfect recipe to be able to make place-based work. And I think one thing to also think about is this idea of curiosity. So while the artists are here, they sort of get to follow whatever inspires them, whatever they're interested in, whatever they want to do next. And so that's where we got to this word inquiry, right? Which is like the theme of today, is just like being curious and being able to follow, what that thing is that you want to know more about. And so, the artists basically, they conduct research in whatever way makes sense to them. And then what the artists bring is their experience and their expertise to this place, right? So that's where it all starts to come together. And so by them sharing with us what they've been working on here, it allows all of us to have the experience of seeing Flathead Lake in a brand new way, because we're seeing it through the eyes of these artists that have been immersed here. So, our goal for all of today's activities and events is that it's grounded in this place. And I'm really excited to learn from all the points of view of the artists and scientists. So to kick us off today, I am going to pass the baton to Monica Elsner, and she's going to start us off on our first event for the day. So Monica, thank you everybody.